Welcome everyone to the Weisenberg Perspective. My good friend Harvey Weisenberg, and we have a lot of great things to talk about today concerning the focus is going to be on what special needs children can do, not what they can't do. And Harvey, you were just working with the kids from the student surf, and let's talk about that experience and the dinner you had, and more importantly, some of the volunteers who gave their time to work with the children from Surf for All.
Well, I would really like to bring to view the success and what is so important to impressing young people, giving them values that just don't seem to exist in our educational system or even with families anymore. And that's called volunteerism. It's caring about other people and participating, not observing, but participating to do good things to help other people. The rewards of my job as an elected official, and as an elected official for 38 years, the rewards of my job are the thank yous that you get for doing good things and helping people. Today, politics appears to be power and money is the goal of running for office and utilizing that power and financial rewards to be able to feel like that's success in their business. Politics is a tough situation in our world and our society today. And I always have said and do say that when politics takes over the government, you don't have government. But today, I want to share with the people, because we started a program 23 years ago. I started. It was Surf for All, if you will. What we did was bring a young man who had a child with a part of the spectrum with autism, Izzy Peskowitz, a national surfing champ. Jim Mulvaney and I went to Reese Park to see this man and see him on a surfboard with his son. I mean, it was amazing just to see this youngster who showed the fact that he had a disability, but still with his father was on a surfboard. And you could see the expression on his face, because I caught his eye. And when you see his eyes open up when he was riding a wave and his smile, it just put a message into my heart here saying, if he can do that, we can do that. And I said, next year we're going to start this in Long Beach. And that's about 23 years ago, and we ran this program ever since. The students came along much later, because we were doing this on Grand Boulevard, and we started with maybe 100 kids, and then we were over 100 kids during the summer. Now we're up to thousands. And I say that from the student program, because Cliff and the family program actually brings different non-for-profit agencies, people with disabilities, to have an activity that never was ever thought to be possible. They bring them down here and they give the beauty of our ocean and the opportunity to have a life experience of being on a surfboard and riding a wave. And the student camp that we started 2 years ago, it's a surf camp for children with disabilities, and it's a part of the student surf camp program. And we decided last year to bring our special children with our regular children and be able to give the lessons and an opportunity to learn how to surf. 4.5 and 5-year-old children, we have all ages, but the success of our program is not only the wonderment of our youngsters on surfboards, it's the volunteers that are there, it's the parents that are there, and it's the youngsters themselves. Not only are they learning a skill, and they are creating friendships, and this is as pre-kindergarten, pre-K, being a former principal in an elementary school. It's amazing the talent and the ability that children have, but to see them in the beach environment, where they learn about nature, where they're learning about surfing, where they're learning about friendships, the socialization that these youngsters have is the best education that children can have. The discipline. Nobody's whining and crying. Nobody has any fear. Everybody is working together. And these are friendships that are starting at 5 years old that are going to be there for the rest of their lives. And the volunteers that the students bring in that help with these programs. And Sorensen, Dr. Sorensen from our Long Beach School District, runs our special needs day camp here. And together, we just had so much success in these youngsters all developing socially, physically, I just want to share this with you because not people wouldn't know this unless you come to attend. That before and after we all hold hands, and we have pictures of holding hands and saying a prayer. And many times I say this prayer, and I do this with the family. The diversity of the people that are surfing, from every culture and any kind, very different in the population participating, all holding hands and smiling. And we say we thank God for this day. It's going to be a happy day. It's a happy day, successful day. And we have friendship and love that's here. And thank you, God, for us to be able to have the ability to go in and enjoy what you have given us, this beautiful ocean and the beach that we have in Long Beach, and the interrelationships that are being really working out together here, and the best needs of our children and families. But everybody has a smile on their face. Everybody is tasting success. And in this world, we need happiness. And the Student Surf Program is just an unbelievable sample of what success is in life at every age, any age that they can get from the surfing and the skill of surfing and the friendships that they have. But it's just a wonderful situation that takes place. The people that participate, and I share this because we just had the end of our season last Friday, and I took the volunteers out, my family, and we went out with some of the volunteers. And the young junior high students, some junior high, high school, they were all there. And the parents of these students were there with their children, and they were expressing that they're so grateful and thankful for this program because they're not sitting home playing with their electronics. What they do is they rush to come there because they are enjoying the thrill of the success that the youngsters that they're working with are having, and their success and the thank yous that they feel from these wonderful children with disabilities and all children who are saying thank you for a happy day. And my God, we all know that in the society today, we need happy days.
Absolutely, and these kids are going to do, I think a lot of these kids who are volunteering are going to go on and do great things in their life because they're doing something so positive and enriching that it's going to lead to only positive things. Another thing you're involved in, Harvey, that I want to touch on is the Challenged Athletes Foundation that came into Long Beach. Let's touch on that a little bit too.
Well, they were here last year, and they're from California, and we have many people that were amputees. And they came to, we hosted them at surf camp with the students, and they came here, and it was amazing to see young and old alike, children and adults, people who lost limbs. But this Challenged Athletes Foundation said if you have a problem and a disability, if you lose a leg, we're going to get you a leg. If you need an arm, we'll get you an arm. We'll get you whatever you want, the equipment, and we'll train you if you want to compete. So they were amazing on the beach. And I said, you know, again, look what our people can do, not what they can't do. And they asked me to come to New York, and we had Representative Anthony and the student representation. We went to New York City at the Hilton Hotel. They asked us to go there. I made a donation, and they invited us to be there. And I figured how many people could be there? Well, there was over 800 people there. Wow. And I was speaking with the lady, and what they were doing was showing videos of youngsters and people who competed in different events. And it was amazing. I was talking to a lady who lost a leg, and she said, I want to do a biathlon. That means you're going to run and swim. And she said, I didn't know how to swim. So and I said, well, in order to do a biathlon, you did, and obviously you did work for that. She said, well, I didn't want to go to a pool and take my leg off. I didn't want people staring at me. But then she said, well, I'm going to do this, and she did it. And then I saw her on a video. I was standing with her, and I was watching her. She ran 2 miles, and she swam in the ocean. And it was, I mean, the tears just came out of my eyes because I looked at the determination on her face and the feeling of success. It's amazing. It's amazing. And even at the Long Beach swim pool, when I was a swimming supervisor there, I had a lady who lost an arm and a leg, and he asked me to teach her how to swim in the pool. And it's just amazing. So what I'm saying is, you know, again, we got to focus because today you're going to find our Paralympics, our Special Olympics, the ability of our children, our people, to be able to participate and compete It's an amazing fact. All we have to do is awaken the public to give their support, to show their support and encouragement, to be able to go and help people and agencies to provide, to give everybody an opportunity for the quality of life and happiness that they can achieve. And again, it's up to and the parents, the families, and everybody who is involved has a happy day for the success of so many people who were many years ago seemed that they were not going to ever be able to do anything. They're not homebound. They're really involved, actively participating, and I tell you, they only bring happiness to our world.
Absolutely. Speaking about, let's segue right into happiness to our world. Harvey, I'd love to get your reaction to this young man by the name of Cody Leaf. He's blind, he's autistic, and he tried out recently for America's Got Talent. He made such a positive impact that over 24 million people have now watched his video on YouTube, and he recently competed in the semifinals singing Bridge Over Troubled Water, and Paul Simon gave his okay to sing the song. But talk about how a young man who's both blind and autistic has had such a positive impact. And to me, young Cody Lee is an inspiration to many young children with special needs, saying that anything is possible. Talk about the impact of Cody Lee.
I have to share this with you, with Governor George Pataki. I had a young lady, 12 years old, from South Carolina, who was in the spectrum, autistic spectrum, blind, couldn't hardly speak, or very difficult, but she could play any song she ever heard on a piano.
Wow.
12 years old. So the Governor Pataki has a prayer breakfast up at the Capitol in the Egg, about 800 people sitting there. And I said to George, I was very close to the governor, and I said, I have somebody I'd like to have at our prayer breakfast. So we got the God Squad from Long Island, and I had this young lady come up and with her mother, and we came into the breakfast, and I asked the audience, just raise your hand and make a request. Now there are 800 people there, and she picked out a person and she played the song. After she finished playing the song, she clapped her hand and stood up, and everybody said, wow. Then she took another person, another song, a different, totally different song, and she played that piano. And I tell you, they sat there in amazement, and even the governor, he was really, and his wife, they were really shook, and they ended up taking tapes of that and putting it on television at night on one of the night programs. But there was another one of those indications. I mean, God gave this youngster on America Has Talent, that God gave this child a talent. And you know, if you can't imagine how God works, but there's a purpose to everything. I know, because I'm telling you, and that's going back to my book about For the Love of a Child, because the love of a child, for the love, the unconditional love that a person gets from a special child is an amazing love experience that many people just don't know exists. So with the love and encouragement, it's that amazing to me. God put this child there. He's there. He's showing the world who he is and what he can do, and he's getting the support of the world. But what we need, and I'm saying this all the time, we just had a film festival in Long Beach here. We had a lot of international films. We got a lot of films. Not one mention about people with disabilities. Let's bring to view the beauty and the talent of our special people and those who take care of them. I mean, we have wonderful agencies that produce wonderfully talented kids. All we have to do is get them out so people will support them and show them all the love and affection that we give to everybody else.
Well said.
Thank you.
Let's give it up for the one and only, the icon, the Harvey Weisenberg perspective with the man, the legend, Harvey Weisenberg.